Hello everyone. Today in this module we will be talking about the process of staffing. That is the process of filling and keeping filled the different positions in the organization structure. It involves total of 8 steps. Number 1, estimating manpower requirements, or you can also call it as the manpower planning. Second, inducing the people to apply for job, which we better know as the recruitment. Number 3, selection. Number 4, placement and orientation. Number 5, training and development. Next, performance appraisal, promotion and career planning, compensation. Let us discuss these steps one by one. Our first step is estimating manpower requirements. That means to find out the number and type of employees needed by the organization in near future. That means estimating the total manpower requirements. Type of employees means what should be the qualification and educational background of the people whom we need to appoint. While estimating manpower requirements, the company should also make policy regarding number of people to be appointed from backward classes, women force, minority, etc. It involves 3 steps. Number 1, workload analysis. Number 2, workforce analysis. And number 3, comparing both to find out the requirement. Number 1, workload analysis. It means finding number and type of employees required to perform various jobs designed in the organization structure. That means total manpower required by an organization. Next, you will do workforce analysis. It means analyzing existing employees already working in the organization at different job positions. That means you will find how many and what type of employees are already working in the organization. Then by comparing both, we can find out whether there is surplus staff or there is deficiency of staff. That means whether the organization is overstaffed or understaffed. Now, after estimating manpower requirements, now suppose you need more people to be appointed in the organization. Then your next step will be you will stimulate more and more people to apply for the vacant jobs in the organization. And this process is known as the recruitment. It refers to the process of inducing the people to apply for different jobs in the organization. So after estimating manpower requirements, the manager tries that more and more people should apply for the job so that you can get more choice and select best candidates out of those who have applied. Organization can fulfill the requirement from inside through transfer and promotion in case there is overstaffing in one department and understaffing in another department, or more staff in one branch and less staff in another branch. Then you can go for transfer, and similarly you can opt for promotion to fill the vacancies. And you can also fulfill the manpower requirement from outside the organization through advertisement, placement consultants, employment exchanges, etc. These are called as the sources of recruitment that we will discuss later on. Now, we have estimated manpower requirement. We have induced people to apply for the jobs. Now the next function is to step is to select the best candidate. So that is called as the selection. It refers to choosing the most suitable candidate to fill the vacant job position. It is done through a process involving tests, interviews, reference checking, etc. Again, that will be discussed later on in this chapter. The main objective of selection: to select the best among the available candidates and to make selected candidates realize that how seriously things are being done in the organization. So the selected candidates, he will feel to be proud to be a part of the organization. It will satisfy esteem needs of the selected candidates. Now, this is for the purpose of knowledge. Recruitment is a positive process because it stimulates more and more people to apply for the jobs in the organization, while selection is a negative process because in selection, number of selected candidates is less than the number of rejected candidates. That means more rejections are there and less selections are there. Now, fourth step, placement and orientation. Placement refers to occupying of the post by the candidate for which it is selected. After selection, the candidate will be given appointment letter and he will be asked to occupy the vacant job position. Orientation refers to introduction of new employees to the existing employees. That means he must know who will be his subordinates and who will be his superiors. He needs to know about the different departments as well as location of cafeteria, etc. So the main purpose of orientation is to familiarize the new employees with the existing employees, organizational policies and organizational structure. Next is training and development. Now, to enable the candidates to perform their jobs in a better way, in a more skilled way, we need to upgrade them from time to time by giving them training. And to improve their overall personality, to improve their overall traits, we need to give them the orientation of development programs. To improve the competence of employees and to motivate them, it is necessary to provide training and development opportunities for the employees. Training involves imparting of specific skills which will help the employees in performing his job in a better way, while development means overall growth of the employee in all aspects. The difference between the two you can understand with the help of this example. Like if an accountant is sent to learn the new software for accounting to prepare the books of account more fast and accurate, then what is this? Is it training or development? Definitely it is training. While if he is sent for orientation program to improve his motivational and conceptual skills, not only about the accounting skills, then this will be called as the development. Next step is performance appraisal. Performance appraisal, it refers to appraising, evaluating the performance of employees against some standards. These standards are made known to employees in advance. Generally, superiors prepare a feedback report on the basis of performance appraisal. So, it includes defining the job. That means what tasks are to be performed by the employee in performing that particular job. appraising performance, that means evaluating performance and providing them the feedback. Feedback is provided to employees so that they can know where they stand and where they need to improve. Next is promotion and career planning. Promotion refers to being placed at a higher job position with more pay, job satisfaction and responsibility. Generally on the basis of feedback report of employees' performance, they are given promotion and opportunities for higher job positions so that they can plan their career accordingly. And the last step is compensation, that means to decide about the wages and salaries of the employees. It refers to the price of the job. It includes direct payments like wages and salary, as well as indirect payments like free servant facility, medical facility, telephone facility, insurance, etc. And direct payments, wages and salaries. These may be of two types, time based and number two, performance based. A time based plan means salary and wages are paid either daily, weekly, monthly or annually. While in performance based plans, salaries will be paid according to your piecework, according to your output, according to your performance. For example, a worker may be paid according to the number of units produced by him or her. There are many methods to calculate the compensation under various incentive plans to reward performance. Certain pay plans can be created which are a combination of time based. That means they will get a fixed salary plus incentives according to their performance. Various plans may be formulated for paying employees time based wage or salary as well as performance based financial incentives and bonuses and employee benefits. And while deciding about the salary structure, you need to keep in mind the legal factors like the labor laws, minimum wages act, provident fund rules, gratuity rules, etc. Trade union, company policy and equity. Equity means equal pay for equal work. So now we can conclude that how many steps are there in staffing process? There are total of 8 steps. Estimating manpower requirements, then to induce them to apply for the jobs, then to select the best one, then to place him on the position for which he has been selected and to familiarize him with the organizational structure and the organizational policies. Then from time to time he is upgraded regarding his conceptual skills as well as the job skills. Next, performance appraisal. His performance will be evaluated so that he can make efforts to improve his performance. Promotion and career planning. On the basis of performance, he may be given promotional avenues. And last, compensation. He will be paid according to time wages or the performance basis, or a combination of both may be opted. So this is all about process of staffing. In the next module, we will be studying about the sources of recruitment. Till then, good day to all of you.